You love Dan Campbell.
He's just great.
What's not to love?
He's just fantastic. Who would a win mean more for, the Lions or the Eagles, Danny?
The Lions. I think for the vibes. I believe in them. I've picked them to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl 3 years in a row. Oh. They clearly believe in themselves, but they haven't obviously made it to the Super Bowl. But those true signature moments, they don't have. If you believe at all in the transitive property in the NFL, for the division, the Eagles just beat the Packers, who the Lions are competing with. Yep. And then the next week, if the Lions then beat the Eagles, they'd be like, oh, okay, pretty comfortably, we just beat a team that beat the team we're trying to win the division with. But even more than that, I really feel like last year we were robbed of Eagles-Lions NFC Championship game because of all of the injuries that happened to the Lions defense. And if you throw it up from last year, they were clearly the two best teams in the NFC. I know this is going back to last year, but they brought a ton of people back. They're healthier. It was just, to me, overwhelmingly obvious that that was what we should have seen to see who was going to represent them in the Super Bowl. So if they lost to the Chiefs, obviously, if they beat the champs, they'll look around and say, who can't we beat? This would be a signature win of this era. It kind of began with one when they won at Arrowhead on Banner Night a couple of years ago. But for this version of when everyone agrees they can be a juggernaut, this would be the best win for the Lions in the last 2 years.
I do agree with you. I think it means more for the Lions. The Eagles, I think, look, their division, they are already almost have wrapped up, barring some colossal collapse. People would say, well, A.J. Brown. They could go out and stomp the Lions by 30 and A.J. is going to have something to say. So that will probably become a bigger story if they lose, but I just don't think that's enough. I think he's going to mouth off no matter what. And for the Lions, though, do they have a signature win this year? When they stepped up in weight class, they lost to the Chiefs, they lost to the Packers. Now, they did beat Tampa Bay.
Baltimore.
That's a pretty good win. Baltimore was pre-T7. Yeah. So that was a terrible Baltimore defense at that point.
But they had Lamar.
Yeah, I did think that at that time I was not thinking the Ravens were a bad team
Correct.
At that point. So that was a good win, but the subsequent weeks took a little bit of shine off of it. But also their division. Right now they're tied with the Bears. And then obviously the Packers are lurking, a half game back. So I just think they're in a far more tougher divisional race than Philadelphia. That's undeniable. So I think the Lions.
I think from a pragmatic perspective, meaning divisional race seeding, I agree with you guys, it's the Lions. Because the Eagles' division is locked up. Jaden's elbow is dislocated. The Giants fired their coach. The Cowboys have 3 wins. But the reason my answer is the Eagles is because I think the Lions are going to feel fine no matter what. I think while I disagree with you a bit in why the Lions didn't make the NFC Championship game last year, fact of the matter is the Lions have full confidence in who they are, and losing on the road to Philadelphia, I don't think will shake that. But the Eagles are, what is holding the Eagles together, and this sounds silly, is that they're winning.
Correct.
And so there is something wrong with the offense. I don't care that the messenger is doing it via, headset microphone to Janky Rondo on Twitch. I don't care if it was scrawled on a gas station bathroom. It's true that there's something wrong with the offense, and it's all cloaked by the fact that they're winning. I don't think Saquon is coming to save the day this year. No. There was the brief hope after the Giants game before the bye. It's okay, Saquon's going to be back. And fact of the matter is, with that Giants game, he's at 3.9 yards per carry. You remove the Giants game when he went 14 for 150. He's at 3.17 yards per carry for the season. If the Eagles lose, it is going to be because, just my guess, their offense can't keep up with the Lions' offense. Again, if they lose, and I think then Sirianni, and I know you might not like this, I actually trust Dan Campbell, leader of men, more than the greatest coach in NFL history next to John,
statistically.
Nick Sirianni. And so I think a loss would wobble the Eagles more than it would Detroit because they actually have drama right now in a way the Lions don't seem to.
Is anyone putting good loss on the board for the Eagles?
Get 38-35.
That would be excellent. But also, I think like watching an offense really be creative and do wackier, more creative stuff while they're trying to run the same handful of plays for A.J. Brown might sort of, I don't know, shake a little, some more interesting plays out of the Eagles playbook.
The Eagles, though, they know they can win the Super Bowl.
Like this, you think?
Saw some of this last year.
Yeah, exactly.
No, last year they had a guy who was on pace to set the rushing record.
But they averaged, one more point? You had the graphic yesterday. One more point per game last
and
year.
A.J. Brown was reading a book, and there was weird drama and all of that stuff. Like, I don't think that this is not a media creation. It's real. I agree with you. There is something wrong with the Eagles' offense this year, and I agree that A.J. Brown is clearly upset about that, and he is voicing it in suboptimal ways. I think we all agree on all of that. But internally, like in the building, they still are like, we're the defending champs with the cleanest path to winning a division of any team in the NFC with the most impressive resume of any team in the NFC. Like, it really, how bad is it?
Well,
they've already beaten several really good teams.
Right, and I guess my answer to how bad is it looks a hell of a lot worse if you lose this game. How bad is it if you lose this game is, we're in third in the conference. And actually, if Tampa beats Buffalo, which I know some people, you guys probably don't think they will, it's a tie for third in the conference because somebody's winning, Seattle and the Rams. Detroit, by beating them, leapfrogs them. And so, it's not bad until it's bad. And I guess the point I'm making is the Lions just changed play callers, which means there was something going on internally that alarmed them enough to where Dan Campbell took over. And we found out, essentially, because Dan Campbell showed up with reading glasses calling plays, right? I know it was reported the morning of, but there was no
smoke.
There was no smoke outside of it. The Eagles are, like someone on a deserted island creating fires of smoke to try to get attention, and that's while winning. And so I just think if you lose a home game,
that's where they're comfortable. It's like the Kobe Shaq Lakers for a little while.
That was what my takeaway was from Jalen Hurts' press conference. That he was like, you know what? This is Thanksgiving's around the corner. This is my family. It's not all perfect. It's
crazy.
But this is what we got, and this is what we're rolling with. And it's like, I don't know. He felt comfortable in it.
What about the fact that if you polled 100 NFL fans, more likely to win a Super Bowl, Eagles or Lions? Don't you think more people would say Philly?
Yeah.
This year?
Yeah, this year.
Yeah.
I think it'd be marginal. Their Vegas odds around the same, I would imagine.
Yeah, pretty similar. But the Lions didn't look good in Green Bay. They didn't look good in KC. I think this is a road game for Detroit. I think it would change more of the public opinion on Detroit than it would Philly.
That's Sunday night. Right now, we're headed to Baltimore. Lamar back at practice. He missed yesterday, dealing with a knee. Not a big deal, though. Ravens preparing for the Browns. It's time now for us to find out whose stock is up and whose stock is down. Danny's stock market report.
Thank you, Wilds. I think it's time in Brew like this to buy stock in the Ravens defense. You guys are going to have to follow me on a little journey here.
Okay.
Points per game last year. This is history repeating itself for the Ravens defense. First third of the season, middle third of the season, final third of the season. It was like, wow, the Ravens defense is bad. Hey, what's going on? And then the last third of the season, they were the best defense in football. Now, if we break up this season into thirds and how it's trending, it's ended up in the exact same place. And it was worse before, and now it seems to be excellent over the last 3 games. And I think this trend, Brew, is going to continue when you look at the offenses that are coming up for Baltimore. It's no one. Patriots do some things nicely. The running game is coming on. Bengals, will see if Joe Burrow comes back. Obviously, they can be explosive. But there's nothing here to me the rest of the way that indicates that the Ravens defense is going to fall off. We know Lamar can carry them in the regular season, but I think the defense is going to be chipping in the rest of the way as well.
No, look, I tend to agree with you. I think the defense, whether statistically it gets better or not, I think it will get better. The thing about those teams, you're right, who's going to test them?
The Bengals.
The Patriots
and the
Packers.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
Packers.
well, hopefully the Packers. You're right. I mean, with J-Lo, we'll see if they got their things.
If the Packers aren't going to be able to test them, then we should write off the Packers.
No, I think
Stay tuned.
But I think they will. I'm just, what my point is, be like the Browns. If they hold the Browns to 13, which they very likely may do, that's good, but that doesn't make them the best defensive. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see them hold. They got to play that way against some of the elite teams. Yeah, they're not going to hold Cincinnati, obviously, to 13.
And they have Cincinnati twice, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can we put that back up there, the teams the Ravens play? Because listen, if you're right that it's pretty
they'll put it back up, I got you.
But if you're right that the Ravens defense is fixed, then it'll be fine. I am less confident that the Ravens defense is fixed. I think it is clearly better.
Yeah, I don't think it's fully fixed.
Right. I think it's better than it was, but last year it went from awful to best in the league. I do not think it is anywhere close to best in the league. And I think 2 games against the Bengals, at least one of which might include Joe Burrow, 1 game against the Patriots, I don't know. I look at that very differently than you. I know those are their points per game ranks. I think they are only playing 2 bad offenses, Browns and Jets. I think every other defense can test them, so I think we will find out.
I will be very surprised if the
Steelers will just be tough. It's a division game. They'll be fighting for playoffs.
I don't think I don't think it's fair to say the Steelers have a bad offense. The Steelers have a league average offense.
I think it's limited. So I think if you do have a good defense, you're going to be it's going to be tough.
I don't know if I believe the Ravens have a good defense yet. I didn't think they looked good against Miami when they allowed 6 points. But I really didn't. I thought Miami moved the ball at will. Yeah,
it was bend but don't break.
Go ahead.
All right, stock down. Brew yesterday accused me of having vengeance towards Jordan Love, and I was like, you know what? It's fair. So I wanted to include the entire Green Bay Packers in it. Too many flaws. I wouldn't rule them out to make the playoffs, but I don't think this team can win the Super Bowl. And their defense is great, but I could have chose Jordan Love inconsistency. I could have talked about the Tucker Kraft injury. Could have done rushing. But just if that was the company you keep, scoring 10 points per game, and I know it's a 2-game sample, but when it coincides with the Tucker Kraft injury and the inability to run the ball and the coach on the hot seat and we can't trust the quarterback, they'll probably make it because of what we talked about yesterday. I do think their defense is really good and they bought themselves enough of a cushion with how they started the year. But I just can't look at the Packers right now as a legit Super Bowl contender.
Yeah, look, I think they are. Jordan Love just simply has to play better. The Tucker Kraft injury, I keep bringing that up, but I don't think that can be overstated. Like that, I mean, he was their leading receiver, I believe, in yards. And, having a tight end that's a security blanket like that is huge. And they don't have any tremendous receivers. So, but I think they've got time to get it going. And I believe in J-Lo.
Yeah. So I agree with you, Danny, in that I have not bought into the Packers fully this year. Before the Micah Parsons trade, I had them out of the playoffs, so you remember. Then when they traded for him, I had them in. And I said Jordan Love I thought was the most intriguing player in the NFL because I thought the defense could be as good as it's been. And contrary to what Coach says, I think Micah Parsons is awesome and has been awesome, and that defense is awesome. I also think that these really deep, without a defined number 1 receiving cores are wildly overrated. Like the Packers, it was 2 years ago, it was like, man, they have 3 guys vying to be number 1. And it's like, no.
Wicks and Watson and Reed. Who's the best one?
Right, Dobbs.
Dobbs
right,
too, yeah.
What you have is 4 guys, overqualified number 3s, adequately qualified number 2s, and wholly unqualified to be number 1s, and one of them's going to have to be. That's why they drafted Matthew Golden, hoping he can be it. The reality is it was Tucker Kraft. And so I think that is, I agree with you, Brew, a huge loss. And I also think it's very rare, or it's very odd that it flipped like this. I just think this year the NFC is the far harder path. The AFC is just going to have, if the Ravens get in, the Ravens having to fight for their life to get in. Right. The Bills as a wild card. We'll see where the Chiefs end up. And then nothing but unproven quarterbacks and teams. And the NFC, it feels like it's going to be mostly the same teams as last year with experienced teams and deep teams running it back.
Yeah. We don't talk about it really, but like last year, Josh Jacobs was awesome. They were the best one of the best running teams in football, and this year they just haven't been able to do it. Last one, and this one that was teased here in the lead into the segment. Maybe the last chance to get Justin Herbert long odd MVP ticket. Now I missed out at 40-1, so buy the dip here, Nick. 25-1. Okay, I understand. He's probably not going to win, but you're a gambler. When you make a 25-1 bet,
Danny,
do you expect it to win?
Long shot losers.
You
just love good value losers.
There's no chance?
There's no chance.
I mean,
Danny, I'll book it. Hold on. I'll book it for you right now. I'll book it for you right now.
And everybody will have to fall off.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
100
to win 25. You're really committed to it. $100.
I didn't want to be unrelatable to the audience. $100 on a 25-1 is a pretty good bet.
Yeah.
All right, hold on a second. So there's 6 guys in front of Justin Herbert right now for the odds.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's just go through it. Justin Herbert has the same number of wins as Matt Stafford, and he averages 25 more yards per game. All right.
What about the other stats?
Well, Stafford has 25 touchdowns, 2 picks.
He's got 5 more touchdowns than him. The interceptions is going to hurt.
7 more touchdowns than him.
Isn't it
25 to 18?
Is it 25 to 18, 25 to 20, whatever?
Well, regardless, the picks are a problem.
Yeah, the
passing.
Yeah, exactly.
Picks, the interceptions.
The interceptions right now are going to hurt Herbert. But I do think that if he can get to 12 wins, and people look at what's happened with his offensive line, he is the worst ranked offensive line in football, but he's second in yards.
Can I say something?
One of those guys, Darnold or Stafford, is going to lose to each other. Jonathan Taylor, running backs don't win it. Allen's not winning it. Mahomes isn't winning it.
Hold on. Why? Just
Mahomes
before you go real quick.
Why?
How are you're just dismissing Allen and Mahomes and giving Herbert a shot? Based on what logic are those guys out of it?
Justin Herbert already has a head-to-head win over Mahomes.
Yeah, they play again.
Yeah. And so you don't think that if Herbert beats Mahomes again,
you said Mahomes is out of it and Allen's out of it. What logic is there that those guys are out of it and Herbert is in it?
Herbert has more wins than Mahomes, same number of yards per game, 2 more passing touchdowns, and a head-to-head win.
That's great. That's not the question I'm asking.
Well, that's the question I'm answering.
What is the logic that those guys are out of it, meaning they can't get back in it, and Herbert is in it? Because if Herbert is marginally ahead of them statistically, and we have 7 games left, I don't think they're out of it.
Jared Goff is ahead of Herbert.
Can I amend the out of it? Who would you rather have a ticket on? 5-1 at Mahomes or 25-1 at Herbert?
Save that for bare bets. That is not. We're not doing. What's the thing you want to ask?
It's more gambling specific. No, your stuff is better.
Okay.
I just can't. If Herbert is doing that great of a job, then I don't want to hear how bad his offensive line is.
Thank you. This is the point I've been making.
But I'm saying his offensive line is literally not doing a bad job.
It's literally the worst in the NFL.
Then if it was, then he wouldn't be doing any good.
What?
That's my point. If I say, here's the thing.
He's second in yards with the worst offensive line and 7 wins.
And they can't be.
But he's saying
I'm saying if I have the worst winter coat, I bought the worst winter coat on the market.
That's how good he is.
And I go outside, you're like, are you cold? Like, no. But it's just because I'm hot. Like, no, your coat's not that bad. Like, no, it's the worst winter coat. Like, it's not.
Listen.
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills here.
If he wins the MVP, he can't have the worst offensive line.
I don't even think he should be ahead of Jared Goff.
This is a great segment.
I mean, this
Danny,
is
you have
just
cornered the
insane.
market.
Why is he he's not in the race?
Wait, you don't think he has a bad offensive line?
No,
I'm not willing to say he's in the MVP race. And he has all these great numbers.
That's value part of it. Overcoming.
Hold on.
His running backs are injured. His offensive line is injured. And he's still producing.
This is Wilds' point.
Value.
Which is objectively true.
Oh, here we go.
If you he leads the league in passing yards, right?
Yeah, I think he's actually second.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he's say leads it, or he's 30 yards out.
Yeah, he's right there.
would you believe that a guy is going, if I said to you, hey, a guy led the league in passing yards, what's the worst you think his offensive line could be?
Yeah.
Would your answer be, oh yeah, he could do that with literally the worst offensive line in football? Or would it just be contradictory? Oxymoronic?
You can't do that with a bad offensive
With a bad offensive line, but with a bad, the worst. There's
Can't be the worst.
The
I
PFF
think you are
screenshots.
taking a little liberty.
No, who measures it? Who measures it?
Pressures?
But again, Danny.
Pressures.
Danny,
You measure that stuff.
I do not believe,
Nick.
that I'm telling you right now, I don't think the Chargers have a worse offensive line than the Titans. I'm saying it. I'm going out on a limb. I don't think they do. Do I think they have a good offensive line? No. Do I think they have an average offensive line? No. Do I think we are going a little far because of the stupid PFF screenshots that to just say it's just flatly the worst?
They've started 10 different offensive linemen this year.
Yeah.
More than any team. They are the most injured offensive line in football. He has been hit the most. He has been pressured the most.
Yeah, but again, part of that
is, yes, he's passing more than Cam Ward, and he's not as mobile as Cam Ward.
Yes.
That is part of it.
Yeah.
But he also has 7 wins and the most passing yards.
Yeah, he's having a nice year.
Oh
There's
my
a big
God.
gulf between nice year and league MVP.
I'm saying, well, right, 25-1. It's a good bet.
Just throwing money in the garbage.
Value.
It's not value. Do you know the value of a losing bet? $0.
Correct.
You've never, again.
I don't agree.
Danny, I have to.
I actually don't agree with that.
I can't tell if this was a great segment or not.
Welcome back to Frenemies Thursday. Happy Frenemies Thursday to those who celebrate. I was really happy to see this, that it's not just Nick and I. Baker and the Bucs, Josh Allen and the Bills, they're frenemies, both coming off tough losses. Baker was asked about his relationship with Josh. Josh the same. They traded friendly barb. Can I just say, as the golfer between the two of us?
Yeah.
I've never respected Baker Mayfield less.
What does that even mean? Where's two gloves golfing?
Does he get little sores on his hands from holding the golf
my
club?
God.
I mean, like, come on, grow. What are you, a child?
Okay.
Sorry, back to the question. More important bounce back game, your NFC pick of Baker or my Super Bowl pick of Josh? 2 gloves.
It's Josh Allen. And it's less on him and it's more on the Bills' offense as a whole. The Bills cannot continue to be this dink and dunk cautious operation. And I think that it is time for Josh, and this is not an indictment on Josh. I think he's doing what the offense is designed to do, to put the cape on and get back to some more explosions. And yes, that might come with more turnovers, but we're seeing this year the turnovers are there anyway. Last year it's one thing when it's like I fully eliminated turnovers from my game.
Sure.
But that was aberrant and likely not sustainable anyway. But it's crazy that the Bills are on this graphic. Teams without a 500-yard receiver or pass catcher of the year. The Titans have a rookie quarterback. The Jets don't have a quarterback. The Browns have a rookie quarterback. The Commanders and Jags top receivers have been hurt. The Raiders top receiver Brock Bowers been hurt. Packers top receiver Tucker Kraft been hurt. I understand the Bills need to get back to being a scary quick strike offense at times. And I think also the Bills need to steady themselves and stay alive for their division. So for all those reasons, I say Josh.
So I think it's Baker, and then we can go back and forth on each other's answers, but Baker has an opportunity here to really prove me wrong and take them from what Brew would call a cute team to, oh, all right, that's nice. Because I said I think they're going from 6-2 to 6-5 because they got the Rams coming up next. If they lose this game, all of a sudden, their losses are Lions, Eagles, Patriots, Bills, and Rams. No embarrassment.
Well, the Rams will not have the.
I'm saying if they
lose both of them.
If I'm correct, and they go to 6-5, that would be their losses. And I think we would all of a sudden be looking at it like, man, really nice story for what Baker has done for his career. They keep winning the NFC South. he puts up big numbers. But that Seattle win this year would be doing a lot of heavy lifting.
But that's my point. If beating Seattle 38-35 and beating San Francisco does not do anything for you, then why does beating 6-win Buffalo do anything for you? Like, Seattle might be the best team in football.
Nick.
They went to their building and beat them. And it's not fair to just assign them a loss next week.
Okay.
So the folks that don't want to believe in Tampa, this win won't move them because the Seattle win didn't move them.
But I think that you would agree that Josh and the Bills have proven more than over like the aggregate than Baker and the Bucs. I mean, Baker has one playoff win since he's been in Tampa.
Yes, okay, sure.
But so I'm just saying, so the idea of like another big win, a signature moment, and all of that for Baker, their offense hasn't been good either.
No, but
they were not good against the Saints. They were not good against the Lions.
My point is this. If beating Seattle and San Francisco and being 6-2 going into last week was not enough to move you or Brew or a lot of people, then beating Buffalo won't be either. And Buffalo is, but while I believe the Bucs can win the NFC, Buffalo is definitively Super Bowl or bust.
Yeah,
Buffalo loses this game, they are a wild card team. It's over for them as far as their chances to win the AFC East. Tampa does not only have a bigger margin of error in that regard, but Tampa also has next week to make up for it. I agree with you that if they go 0-3, Patriots, Bills, Rams, that's an indictment. But they've already.
But 0-2 is not.
Well, I'm saying they need to at a minimum go 1-1 here. And you know what I mean, over the next two. I thought they could go 2-1 in this stretch. I thought they would beat the Patriots. So that's, that 2-1's kind of downgraded to 1-2 at this point. But I just think that it will be legitimate to be highly concerned about Buffalo if they lose. And Tampa just has such a bigger margin of error if they lose.
I just have no doubt that the Bills' offense is going to be somewhere in the range of good to great.
But Brandon Beane does, and you don't.
I don't. Well, their offensive line is very good, their running game is very good, and Josh Allen is very good.
Yes, but it hasn't.
So and their scoring numbers are good and their rushing numbers are good. It's their big play passing that has taken a huge dip from last year.
Man, I guess what I would say is right now, the Bills in the last month have more double-digit losses than they had in the previous 4 years. They have. You did this whole thing yesterday about the Chiefs have not won the division. Same with Buffalo with Josh. The Chiefs have proven they can go on the road and win playoff games in a way the Bills have not. And I'm not trying to make it about the Chiefs. My point is...
We'll get to them in a second.
Yeah, my point is the Bills all of a sudden, you were convinced, 2-game blip. Bills are fine.
I was convinced.
And then they got dog-walked by Miami.
After
if they follow that up with a home loss to a team you don't respect as a contender, that's a massive indictment. It's a massive indictment.
I expect the Bills to win comfortably. To Denver to talk about those Chiefs. Chiefs are coming off a bye. Andy Reid has been dominant off the bye, but the Chiefs are 5-4, third place in the AFC West. The Broncos sit atop that division, of course, at 8-2. Patrick Mahomes gets to see these Broncos twice a year.
Yeah.
What's on the line for your squad?
The chances to win the AFC West, nothing less, nothing more.
Nothing less, nothing more. How significant is that, though? Because Patrick says it's the first goal that's put up on the board.
I would like for them to win the division. I will be picking them to win the AFC, and I think that the Chiefs have been a gift to me in many ways.
Yeah, no
This year, they have been a special type of gift because I have gotten to watch media friends and foes alike.
And frenemies.
Just really twist themselves in pretzels about this team again and again and again this year. From, oh man, what if Russell Wilson outplays Patrick Mahomes and they fall to 0-3?
I was just asking a question.
Right, and they fall to 0-3 to, I solemnly swear I'll never doubt the Chiefs again. They're the best team in football.
That might have been.
Yes. 2, well, if they lose this week, We just have to open up the aperture to they could miss the playoffs. So, listen, if they lose this week, I no longer will think they will win the division. That is it for me.
So if they lose this week, to me, we will have a weird moment in time. And it'll stretch from the middle of November until the playoffs start. Because I agree with you. The Chiefs will make the playoffs even if they lose this game. I will not come in on Monday saying they are going to lose. Though their AFC conference record, I think, would be 2-4. Like, they would have to go on a run because their tiebreakers are not going to be in their favor. But that aside for a second. And then in January, they'd be the team that nobody wants to play.
Yeah.
Obviously, because of the pedigree that you talk about all the time. But between now and then, every team that would be on their schedule would actually think they could beat the Chiefs. If you beat the Chiefs in a must-win game for the Chiefs out of a bye, that will be one of the most shocking results of the NFL this year to me, and I think to you. You will be, they're only 3.5-point favorite. You will be shocked if they lose this game. Yes?
I mean, I would be surprised. I don't think it would be as shocking as Miami beating Buffalo last week.
Really?
Yeah.
I know by the numbers.
I mean, Denver's got a great defense. Denver has a great defense, and they're at home.
Listen, I don't really believe in the Texans game, the Jets game,
but
the
Denver.
Giants
But
game.
if you sack Patrick Mahomes 7 times, you can win. You probably will win, and that's on the board of possibilities. I just don't buy into this. I was told the Chiefs' mystique was dead 6 weeks ago. So this idea, like what you're trying to frame to me, it sounds like is the Chiefs' mystique, which I was told was dead in the water.
I never said that.
And okay, well, a lot of people said it was dead
record,
in the water
you
after
a
the
lot
Chargers
of things to me, not that one.
And after the start that they had, it then got reborn and is now going to be killed again. Like, who are these teams?
Like the Texans.
If so, you're saying that if the Chiefs win this game, the Texans are going to feel like we can't beat them?
There would be dude, this is a game they always win. This is a game they always win.
Well, yeah,
and so if they
13-1 against the Broncos,
right? And Andy Reid is 22-4 out of buys. This will be I didn't see them losing to the Jaguars, and they did. I don't see them losing to the Broncos, and so if they do, it'll be like, man, they really can lose any game.
So it sounds like what you're saying is same with me. What's on the line for the Chiefs? Nothing but the division. Because you're saying even if they lose,
regular season
they're
mystique.
Still the regular season
mystique is on the line.
4 years ago they were 5-4. Nobody cares.
But no one in the division was 9-2.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.